Hi, wonderful people. This is Meg with Mamá Oso Yoga, and this sequence is going to be one for when it's just kind of hard for you to talk yourself into showing up on the mat. I'll be honest, this week has been hard. Just missing my students a lot from not being able to see them with everything shut down. And Bear's been having some tummy issues, but good news is he's feeling better. You can hear all three of the dogs just kind of clanking and eating their dinner in the background. So this is going to be a gentle sequence that will not take too much amping yourself up to get into it. We'll stay low to the ground and focus on stretching out some areas that can really hold a lot of tension when we have been having a rough week or a rough day or rough hour. It's all good. Go ahead and come to a nice cross-legged seat. Settle yourself comfortably here, and I invite you to rest your hands on your knees, and you have a choice today. If you are feeling the need to ground to feel more stable, keep your hands flat. If you are maybe wanting to receive something, whatever that something might be from your practice, maybe you keep your hands open. Deep breaths as you gently let your eyes close. Whatever sounds are in your practice space, if you have dogs or kids eating around you, it's all good. You showed up. Feel each inhale, and each exhale. You're taking this time for you to feel a little more grounded and centered. Daisy. And sometimes life happens and your dogs bark, and it's all good. Yoga's here for all of that. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears, gently slide them down your back. Shrug your shoulders up, gently slide them down. Shoulders shrug up and shrug down. Take your left hand to your right knee and reach your right hand behind you, turning into a gentle twist here. Gently release and come back to center. Right hand now to your left knee. Your left hand swims around behind you. And once again, coming into this gentle twist on the other side. Wonderful. Come on back to center and shift your weight to a tabletop position. So you're going to place your hands under your shoulders. And there's a little dust bunny on my mat. You're going to think about placing your knees under your hips. Inhale and drop your belly in cow pose, sending your gaze up. Exhale, arching the back in cat. Inhale and drop your belly for cow pose. And exhale, arching in cat. Inhale in cow. Exhale in cat. Now you can keep going with this traditional cat-cow shape, or if you want to maybe just start thumping your hips from right to left, maybe you turn and curve one side of the body at a time, this figure C shape, stretching it out. Maybe you sink back on your heels for a moment, maybe you rock forward. Take 3 more breaths, find your groove. Hi, Prim. Thank you for saying hi. Come on over, sweet girl. Creamy. Yes, you can come over. Sometimes your dogs will crawl into the practice space too and want to practice with you. Thank you. Oh, she wants pets. Are you jelly? Are you jelly of the yoga mat? Can you lay down? Oh, nope, she's done. Here comes her sister. And even if you were just chilling in this tabletop position while dogs wander around in front of you, it's all good. Daisy Meg, what you doing? Yeah, you can go upstairs. You can. Jump up. I'll scooch the camera. There you go. Now you can go see Daddy. All right. So coming back to that tabletop position, and I'll do another cat-cow here. Curl your toes under now, and just for a breath, you are going to pick up your knees and let them hover. It doesn't have to be a huge lift. Release them down. Lift your knees, let them hover. Release them down. And this time, pick up your knees, but let's go ahead and send it to a downward facing dog. So sinking your heels down towards the earth. Bend one leg at a time, stretching it out. You can rise up on your toes if that feels nice. In and out. You are here. Find stillness in your downward dog. Slowly lower your knees back down to the mat. Open them out wide. Bring your big toes to touch. And crawl your hands forward and your hips back. Coming into child's pose, resting your head on the mat. Bear came by to say hello. Child's pose can be a really grounding pose. It's one of my favorites for when I'm just having trouble talking myself into doing a little bit of yoga. You are exactly where you need to be today. Even if things feel out of control and crazy. Slowly lift your head up, cross your right hand on top of your left, and go ahead and walk them towards the left. And then lower. Slowly raise your head up, walk your hands back to center, and then take them over towards the right, this time crossing your left hand on top of your right, lowering back down. My sweet girl. Slowly walk your hands back to center. Maybe there's a giant dog who suddenly appeared in the middle of your mat. Yes, you are. Good girl. Thank you. And from here, shift your weight back onto your butt. And I'll turn the camera a little bit. She loves this little bed. Clearly thinks it's made for her. And go ahead. We're going to stretch out our hips just a little bit. And so you can either draw your feet close to your hips. You can see my hips are very tight, so your knees might stay lifted, or you can keep them farther out. And while you're here, a few different options. If your feet are sore, you might actually take a moment to give yourself a foot massage, taking one thumb and digging it into the arch of your foot. You don't have to, but it feels lovely if you choose to do so. Just showing yourself a little bit of kindness and patience. I know for me, when I'm just feeling kind of blah and off, it can be really hard for me to be kind to myself. And these little moments of self-care, even if it feels kind of silly to give yourself a foot massage, are really, they go a long way in creating neural pathways to be kind to yourself, even when you may not necessarily want to. And if you're not foot massaging, you're just getting a nice stretch. But now everyone, you can keep up the massage as you do this if you choose. Bend your elbows. Start to reach the crown of your head forward as you bend forward. So I used to be an intense runner, and because of that, my hips are very inflexible. But you might be able to fold all the way down and bring your forehead to the earth. But if you're sitting straight up or kind of halfway like me, it's all good. I invite you to close your eyes for just a breath. Slowly rise back up. Bring your knees together and give yourself a hug. Wrap your arms around your shins, and maybe you rest your chin or your forehead on your knees. I'm so very proud of you for taking the time to show up today. Thank you so much for practicing with me and with all three of my crazy babies. Let's go ahead and come back to that comfortable seat. Bring your hands to your heart. Namaste. I wish you well. Thank you so much for practicing with Mamá Oso Yoga, and I'll see you later.